Hello everyone. In this lecture, we will see what is hypothesis based and inductive bias in machine learning. So in machine learning, one aims to construct algorithms that are able to learn to predict certain target output. So to achieve this, the learning algorithm is predicted some training examples that demonstrate the intended relation of input and output value. Then the learner is supposed to approximate the correct output even for the examples that have not been shown during training. Like suppose if we are going for supervised learning, so there should be labeled data and the learner, in the sense the algorithm to which we are teaching, that a bucket of fruits is there and the algorithm has to recognize whether it is apple or whether it is banana. So the thing is, while learning, the algorithm has to uh, make sure what is the relation between input and output values, and we have to show some examples to the algorithm. uh, Before asking questions to algorithm, we have to give some examples, like the fruit which is red in color, round in shape, having some leaves on it, that is apple, and the fruit which is longular in shape and yellow in color, so that fruit is known as banana. Like these examples we have to first tell to the algorithm, and after that we have to keep one fruit in front of the algorithm and we have to ask the algorithm, recognize this, whether this is banana or apple. For that, algorithm is going to predict something. Predict in the sense, algorithm will give us possible output for that input. So it will check whether the fruit is round in shape, whether the fruit is having red in color. If it is so, it will predict that this is apple. If it is not there, so it will predict that this will be banana. So without any additional assumptions, this problem cannot be solved exactly, since unseen situations might have an arbitrary output value. The kind of necessary assumptions about the nature of target functions are subsumed in the phrase of inductive bias. The inductive bias of learning algorithm is a set of assumptions that the learner uses to predict outputs given inputs that it has not encountered. What it means is, before going to ask algorithm whether this is banana or this is apple, we have to first teach to the algorithm that you should recognize apple by these things, you should recognize apple by these, banana by these things. So inductive bias is a thing which we can say is a set of assumptions, uh, assumptions that algorithm assume it might be banana, it might be apple, and on the basis of that, it will predict some output for such inputs which we have not shown to the algorithm. Like it is not always possible that apple is always in round shape. Uh, by any condition or by some situations, it is also there, like shape of apple is not exactly the round or circle. It might be somewhat different in any cases. So what we have to do is we have to assume, we in the sense the learning algorithm have to assume the thing, like if it is something like sphere in shape, something like circle in shape, round in shape, it might be apple. So this is the intelligence which we have to generate inside the learning algorithms. This is the actual task of any machine learning algorithm. So this is known as basically inductive bias. We will elaborate it again. Suppose we are having given examples like x and y. X is the set of input and y is the output. X is set of input and y is output. Or sometimes it is also written as x or and f of x. Like x is a set of input and f of x is the output generated by some function. Now, if we are considering supervised learning, so there might be two types of problems. First is classification type of problem. So the output might be discrete, like recognize apple or banana. So we cannot say that only one apple is there. We cannot say that only one banana is there. So there might be number of apples, there might be number of bananas are there. So the output will be discrete. Regression type of problem is having output is continuous, like only weight, or the the thing which is having only one answer, constant answer, that is known as a regression kind of problem. And probability estimation, in the sense, this will happen if the problem occur like this, so this is known as probability. So in classification type of problem, functions are discrete. In regression, functions are continuous. And we can also, apart from classification regression, in some cases we may find out the probability of a particular value of y. Probability of particular value of y means we are having set of input known as x, which is written in angular bracket, and y is the output value. So probability of y, like suppose if we are performing operation like 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, and whatever the instructions we have given to the learning algorithm, like we are giving you two numbers, you have to add that numbers and you have to generate the output. So it is not all the time possible for machine to generate the correct output. It will sometimes predict the probability of answer 5, like suppose 2 and 3 we are adding, so the probability of answer 5 is high and probability of answer 6 is low. So this is also possible in machine learning. So there should not be two types of problems only, classification and regression. There are some problems which are based on the probability also. We are also going to see these things in Naive Bayes algorithm. Okay. So for those problems where we look at probability estimation, our f of x is the probability of x. So this type of inductive learning problems that we are looking at. So why do we call this as inductive learning? So induction as opposed to deduction, unless we can see all the instances, all the possible data points, or we make some restrictive assumptions about the language in which the hypothesis is expressed, or some bias, this problem is not well defined, so that is why it is called inductive problem. So inductive is opposed to deduction in the sense it is increasing, and what is increasing is we are not restricting the assumptions for the machine learning algorithm. What we have to do is we have to provide number of inputs, more and more inputs to the algorithm, so that it will generate accurate answer and it can assume less, or give correct output. That possibility should be measured there. So that's why this type of problems are known as inductive problems. So each instance can be described in a quantitative manner using features, and often we have multiple features which are called feature vectors. For example, a particular instance, you may describe all the instances in terms of 10 features. So the feature vector will be one dimensional vector of size 10. Now that these are some terminologies which we have to keep in mind while going for any machine learning algorithm. So there are some instances, suppose we can say x1, x2, x3 are the instances. These instances are described like if you have to consider the apple, so three things we are considering. The fruit should be round in shape, we can say instance x1. Next is fruit should be red in color, instance x2. Fruit should have some leaves on it, so this will be known as, or this will be considered as instance number 3, x3. Now x1, x2 and x3, these are the instances for that apple. Again, instances consist of some features, like suppose we are considering leaves. So leaf instance, if we are considering, so there might be feature 2 leaves are present, 3 leaves are present. So this is the feature for that instance. If we are considering red in shape, red in color. So red, again having some description, we can say pale red color, faint red color, dark red color. So these are the feature for that uh, instance. Third type of instance is that should be in round in shape. Apple should be in round in shape. So 5 millimeter round is there, 10 millimeter round is there. So that is known as the feature for that instance. So every input, there are instances. For every instances, there are features. Now the features are any dimension. Features are of any dimension. If you are considering 10 features for one instance, that feature is known as 10 dimensional feature or one dimensional vector of size 10. This thing is also possible. So these are some terminologies which we have to keep in mind for any kind of algorithm. A feature vector is an n-dimensional vector of numerical features that represents some objects. Many algorithm in machine learning requires uh, a numerical representation of objects, since such representations facilitate processing and statistical analysis. When representing images, the feature value might correspond to the pixel of an image, while when representing text, that features might be frequencies of occurrence of textual terms. Like if these are some examples given for the features and instances. If you are considering any image, you can give example, or you can consider where number of pixels are there. For text documentation, you can consider any number of occurrences of any particular word. So these things you can say features. The vector space associated with these vectors is often called the feature space. In order to reduce the dimensionality of the feature space, a number of dimensionality reduction techniques can be employed. Now the thing is, one instance may contain n dimensional feature. That features are known as, or that features are placed as a in a feature space. But the thing is, where the minimum features are there, maximum accuracy is there. Now, if any feature is giving more number of features, then it is also possible that number of dimensions should be reduced so that we can get the more accuracy. And for dimensionality reduction also, there are some algorithms present in machine learning. One algorithm from that is principal component analysis, in which we can reduce the dimensionality of any feature vector or feature space. So from various classes of functions, we have to choose the best function which best fits our features. Now the thing is, what we can do, we will consider this example. So all the theory we have seen before this, that should be clearly understand. See this diagram, we are having two features here. One is known as x1 and another is known as x2. X2 we have written in x-axis, x1 we have written in y-axis. So what we are doing here is, there are some positive examples, there are some negative examples, and they are placed by using their values. Like if you are considering any minus value, then for x2 there is some value for it, for x1 there is some value for it. So this is very basic thing which everyone should know, how to plot the data points onto the graph. On the basis of that only it is plotted there. What we have to do is, we have given one example, that is for x2 we have to consider 0.5 and for x1 we have to consider 2.8, and we have to plot the thing. Now we are having two type of data here, one is positive kind of data and another kind is negative kind of data. Now what we have to do is, we have to draw such a hypothesis. Hypothesis is basically known as a function which is generally used for any of the algorithm. And for algorithm, for every algorithm, the definition of hypothesis differs from one another. For one hypothesis, for one problem, we can say hypothesis is a straight line. For any algorithm, hypothesis might be curved line. For any problem or for any algorithm, hypothesis must be discrete. So it depends on the problem you are facing, or problem you are for the problem for which you are finding the answer. Now the thing is, what we have to do is, suppose let us assume that there are two features x1 and x2. In general, we can have n number of features. Then those would have to be defined in n dimensional space. Now the highlighted point 0.5 and 2.8, and it belongs to positive class. So this can be thought of as a point in this feature space, point in the two-dimensional feature space, or you can think of it as a vector in this space. So each instance is a point in the feature space, and there are other points which belongs to positive or negative class. Other also classes, or sorry, other also points are there. Some belongs to positive class, some belongs to negative class. Now let us look at the classification problem, and let us say that it is a two-class classification problem. So we have given number of instances. For example, some of which belongs to class 1. Class 1 we can say positive class, and other belongs to class 2 we can say negative. You are given a training set which comprises a subset of instances. Some are marked as a class 1, some are marked as a class 2, which we can say positive and negative. Now we want to learn a function so that based on the function we can predict whether a new instance, whether this should be positive or negative. The function could be particular curve or line which separates the positive from the negative instances. Now the task with this diagram is, we are having two-dimensional feature space here. Dimensions are x1 and x2. For that we have plotted the things here, and by using the things, the data points which already plotted in the diagram, they are given as a training set to the algorithm. Like if we are considering first minus data point which is very nearer to 0.0 and 1.0. So what is the input we have given to algorithm? The thing which is very nearer to these 2 points, it is treated as a minus or negative class. The thing which is present here, it is known as positive type of class. Now the thing is, what we have to do is we have to predict 0.5 and 2.8 is the value or data point is there, whether it is positive or negative. And we have to draw such a hypothesis, such a function which might be a straight line, which might be curved, but it should classify both type of data. We have to draw such a line which will classify positive points one side and negative points to another side. So this is the basic tasks for which we are drawing the hypothesis. Now see, in the hypothesis space, there might be these three hypotheses present. Three, we can say any number of hypotheses or straight lines we can do, which will possibly classify all positive points to one side and negative points to another side. So these three hypotheses we have done. So what we have to say it as a set of legal hypotheses. All these hypotheses are legal hypotheses, and we need to choose only one from them, because for any problem, number of hypotheses should not be there. So in the above diagram, set of possible functions which could classify the classes into different ways and can predict the possible class of new instance. And the set of all such legal functions that we could have come up with, they define the hypothesis space. So this is known as hypothesis space. This all space is known as hypothesis space, under which we have drawn three possible hypotheses which can possibly classify all positive points on one side, negative points on one side. It is not possible that such a line should be there or such a hypothesis should be there which will cover all the positive points on one side and all the negative points on another side, because the data is kind of discrete. You can see it here. See in this diagram, it is not possible that all the positive points are on one side and all the negative points are one side. We have to draw a possible hypothesis which could maximum classify the things. Okay. So next thing is, in particular learning problem, you first define the hypothesis space, that is a class of functions that you are going to consider, then given the data points. You try to come up with the best hypothesis given the data that you have. Hypothesis space is a space of all legal hypotheses which you can describe using the features that you have chosen. And this is the set from which learning algorithm will pick the hypothesis. So what a algorithm or machine learning algorithm have to do is, algorithm should develop 2, 3, 4 number of hypotheses, possible hypotheses, which can maximally segregate or classify the data. And after that, algorithm has to pick only one single hypothesis which will classify maximum data points from one another. So the hypothesis space is known as capital H, which denotes all legal hypotheses, just like we have drawn three hypotheses in that diagram. And the learning algorithm output hypothesis H, small h known as the hypothesis which algorithm picked from all set of hypotheses belonging to capital H, means capital H contains three different hypotheses. Small h is a single hypothesis which the learning algorithm have picked from the capital H. Given the training set of particular data points, the learning algorithm will come up with one of the hypotheses in the hypothesis space. Which hypothesis it comes up with will depend on the data, and it also will depend on the what type of restrictions or biases that we have imposed. Thus, in supervised learning, we can think of it as a device which explores the hypothesis space or which searches the hypothesis space in order to find out one of the hypotheses which satisfies certain criteria. The hypothesis space defines all possible set of hypotheses. You can restrict hypothesis by defining some bias. Bias in the sense some criteria. There should be some criteria which will classify very efficiently. So there should be some biases. Means we are having 3-4 different hypotheses. We have to choose only one hypothesis. So there should be some criteria. There should be some rules. By using that rules, learning algorithm should pick only one hypothesis. By specifying some constraints on the language or some preferences, you can restrict the hypothesis space. So bias is of two types. Bias can be formed in terms of constraints or restrictions, limit the hypothesis space, or bias can be in the form of preferences. So impose ordering on the hypothesis space. Means you can check if a learning algorithm is considering first bias or first hypothesis, so how many data points are going to classify well. Okay, so after that consider second hypothesis, check how many data points are getting separated or classified well. Now consider third hypothesis, and which will give you proper result or maximum accuracy. Learning algorithm can choose that hypothesis for this problem. So these are known as biases, which we can known as a constraints also. We can say it as a rules also. Now consider we take features which are Boolean. Suppose x1, x2, x3, x4 are 4 features, and they are Boolean features. Boolean in the sense they are having only two values, either true or false. Boolean features, the value of the features are true or false. Now the number of possible instances are 2 raised to 4. Means for any feature there are some instances, as I said. So if you are considering 4 features, so 2 raised to 4 means 16 possible instances are there. If there are n Boolean features, so there would be 2 raised to n possible instances. So in this example, we have what we have considered is 4 features are there, means 16 instances are possible. So this is the size of hypothesis space. Means you can draw these number of hypotheses in the hypothesis space. As you can see, hypothesis space very large, and it is not possible to look at every hypothesis individually in order to select the best hypothesis that you want. And thus we put restrictions on the hypothesis space. If you restrict the hypothesis language reflects bias, which reflects an inductive bias of the learner. Thus, inductive bias, we need to make assumptions as experience alone does not allow to make conclusion about the unseen data. The second type of bias that you can use is preference bias, where given a particular language that you have chosen for all possible polynomials, but you will prefer polynomials of lower degree, or considering all possible Boolean functions, but you consider Boolean function which can be described in small size. Thus, you can put different type of biases on your learning algorithm. Bias is a condition or restrictions, we can say. So the thing here is how many numbers of features or instances are present over there. On the basis of that, number of feature space or size of feature space gets enlarged, and it is not always possible to look for the every hypothesis. So what we have to do is we have to put some criteria. so that we can go for the accurate hypothesis. And it might produce some bias in the sense it might produce some error also. So to minimize these type of errors, we have to go for the degree polynomials. These are some terminologies used in the choosing of hypothesis. So following is the list of common inductive bias in machine learning algorithm. First one is maximum conditional independence, where if the hypothesis can be a Bayesian framework, so try to maximize your conditional independence. You can say new bias classifier is here also. Next is minimum cross validation error. So when trying to choose among hypotheses, select the hypothesis with the lowest cross validation error. Before this, we have seen what is meant by cross validation. So what you have to do is the lowest error with cross validation, you can go for that also. Maximum margin. Margin is the thing which we have to see in the support vector machine, where drawing a boundary between two classes maximize the width of the boundary. So this is the bias used in support vector machines. The assumptions is that distinct classes tend to be separated by wide boundaries. Next is minimum description length or Occam's razor. When forming a hypothesis, try to attempt to minimize length of description of hypothesis so that there should not be more complexity with it. Next is minimum feature. So before this also we have seen that if there are minimum number of features, so hypothesis space should be minimized. Next is nearest neighbor. This is generally used in unsupervised kind of learning, where we are not knowing the data belongs to which class. In such kind of things, we can go for the nearest neighbor. So while considering this, there are some components of generalization error. Basically, two components are there. First one is bias error. Bias error means how much average model overall training set differs from the true model. This could be the error due to inaccurate assumptions or simplifications made by the model. And next one is the variance error. Variance in the sense how much a model is estimated from different training sets differs from one another. So bias, we can say restrictions on the hypothesis space or preference in choosing the hypothesis. By deciding a particular hypothesis or correct hypothesis, you can impose a bias. So this is error due to incorrect assumptions or restrictions on the hypothesis space. So these are called as the bias errors. And variance is known as when you have small test sets. Uh, so variance error means the model that you estimate from one training set to another training set. So what you have to do is you have to minimize the errors, and you have to choose or pick, you in the sense the machine learning algorithm have to pick such a hypothesis which should generate minimum errors and maximum or accurate result for that particular problem. So this is the whole idea about hypothesis space and inductive bias. Thank you.